My first real interview was with Microsoft. I was still in school. I was in final level then, and Microsoft came to. I think they came to maybe either they came to Nigeria or they came to Africa to come recruit engineers or to come recruit new graduates. So I had a group of friends, and funny enough, they're still together, four of us. Out of the four of us, I was the only one that had a job, right? Because after internship, I was retained. Don't worry, it wasn't like a lot of money. I was being paid like 20K or 25,000. But yeah, I was still because I didn't have any other alternative. When we heard about the opportunity and we applied, I just felt that out of everybody now, I'm the only one that has a job. Now only me get experience. If anyone should get this job, it should be me, right? So we went through the process and like we did the first interview, which was basically like speaking with the recruiter. And then we got to the second interview. I think I got dropped at the second stage, and I will explain why. So the second stage was an interview it was a coding test, basically, with a senior engineer at Microsoft. And this is an advice I would like to give everybody. The reason why I failed that particular stage, right, or the interview, anyways, it was because I didn't make my research in terms of what to expect for this particular interview. I did not know that the type of interviews that's being run by big tech is different from the kind of interviews that most companies run here, right? They really don't care. At that point, they didn't really care whether you can design API or you cannot. They don't care whether you can build Facebook or not. They had specific questions, and my question was very simple. I wish someone would ask me that question now. Very simple, but I did not know what to expect. I didn't know how to respond, so I failed that particular level. And one of my friends actually got the job. And why did he get the job? He went online, like he did his research. What should I expect at this level? After he passed the level, then he had to go to South Africa for the last stage, which was like 4 interviews back to back. And he bought a book, sat down, read the book, right? Practice and practice. I think one thing that's very important, like for everyone is that, see, when it comes to interviews, always know what to expect.
Hey everyone, welcome back to another exciting episode of Tech Tales with Fola. And I'm your host, Folashade Adegite. And today we'll be diving into a topic that every tech professional, whether you're a newbie or a seasoned expert, has thought about at some point in their life. We'll be talking about tech interviews, demystified tips from people who have been there. I'm so excited to have a seasoned software developer on this call. I'm so happy to have him talk to us about this. I watched one of his videos when he talked about his interview process at Paystack. So I'm bringing him directly to you to listen to him. If you are probably looking at getting a particular job, or you have a dream job and you're feeling like you can't get that job, or probably there are difficulties, Ibiniyi is here to share with us some tips using his own story on how he was able to secure his job at Paystack and also where he is currently. Hi, Ibiniyi. Good to have you on the show.
Hi, Folashade. I'm happy to be here. Hi, everyone.
So, in case you don't know, like Ibiniyi calls himself ex-Paystack
Paystack.
engineer. We first met at company that we worked together before he now moved to Paystack. I just wanted to ask that at some point, did you think about working at Paystack? Was it something you already visualized? Like, I have this, I want to work at Paystack.
Okay, yeah. So to a good extent, working at Paystack was part of the dream, right? But my actual goal or my actual dream was higher than Paystack, right? Yeah. So I mean, for a long time, I wanted to work at like big tech, and by big tech, I mean Google, Microsoft, Amazon. So I kind of just developed myself to be able to work like at that level, right? So when the opportunity for Paystack came in, right, you know what you know what they tell you, that you aim for the moon, you eventually, like, worst case scenario, like you land among the stars, right? So that was basically what happened, right? I was aiming for something higher, and then Paystack came in, and yeah, that.
So before we get started into this conversation, I would quickly read your bio, then also do like a quick icebreaker, right? Are we good?
All right, yeah, let's go for it.
Ibini Obikoya is a software engineer, an ex-Paystack employee or engineer, like he used to call himself, with a proven track record of working with some of the most respected companies in the tech industry, specializing in back-end development and system design. He's passionate about crafting scalable and efficient solutions that addresses complex challenges. As a mentor and educator, Ibiniyi is committed to helping others succeed in tech. He has guided numerous individuals in advancing their careers, sharing practical insights and strategies for long-term growth. Ibini is a visionary leader, is the convener of Christian Tech Community. I think you should check that out. Christian Tech Community. You can just check their website to see what they're about. They recently had like a conference in Ibadan, so it's on YouTube. You want to check as well. You're going to learn a lot from that. A Christian Tech Community is a platform designed to inspire, connect, and empower Christians in tech. His mission is to build a space where faith and technology converge to foster spiritual and professional growth. With a passion for storytelling, he has spoken at several conferences and events. His talks focuses on navigating career challenges, integrating faith into the workplace, and achieving sustainable success in the tech industry. Through his YouTube channel, Ibini continues to share insights on tech, careers, faith in the workplace, and personal growth. So before we get started in this conversation, we'll be having an icebreaker. So Ibini, are you ready for this?
Yes.
Okay. So Ibini, what if tech doesn't exist? Probably there's no coding, there's no computer, there's no software engineering. What exactly would you be doing?
I mean, music, right?
Wow.
It should be music. I love music. I play drums. I can also play clef. So yeah, I think it would be the music if I were it in tech, music. There are times that I've actually tried to pursue the music part, right? But I just did not like. I didn't have time. Yeah. There was a time I was going to learn the bass guitar. I actually got a teacher, but after like first and second lesson, I just did not have the time to continue.
Can you imagine the tech bro?
I say honestly.
One last question so that we can get started. If you had to describe your entire career in just one line, like a movie tagline that's for instance, what's this Fugi Akindele movie, The Tribe Called Judah, your entire career based on where you started and where you are now. The title of your movie, if it's a movie.
Wow. Okay, let me think about that. I think the line that would really describe like the multiple things I've been through and the opportunities I've had would be I like to attribute everything to God. So I would say that it's maybe a boy helped by God.
Mhm.
And I believe that even in maybe throughout like in this interview, you would see the reason, right? Why? Yeah, it's that. But that's the line I'm going to go with.
So the title of your movie career is
Yes.
A
God.
Guy Helped by God. That's interesting,
Yes.
really. So thank you once again, and really it's a pleasure to have you on the show. So let's get started. Let's start from the beginning of your career. I don't know what's like your first job, what company basically.
Okay, so my first job was when I went for internship, right? I was in 300 level, and that was really when like everything started. It was at a company called Cloudware in Ibadan, right? It's a very small software agency. I mean, it was popular then actually, but yeah, that was my first job. I joined as an intern, and I was working as a full stack developer then.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you do front end.
I used to, I still do at times, but I'm majorly like a backend engineer. There are times that if some front end work needs to be done, and let's say there's nobody, I'm definitely not the best person to touch that code.
So I want us to like start from the beginning, from Cloudware to Global Accelerator to Paystack. I know you've had, especially at Paystack, I know you had like an incredible journey, right? From the Cloudware to
Yeah.
Accelerator to Paystack, and now where you are. So from your time at Paystack to becoming a mentor and educator, can you take us back to those early days? What sparked your interest in tech, and what was the moment you realized that, wow, this field is what I want to pursue? Were there any early challenges that almost made you actually question your path?
Okay, so so in terms of what actually like sparked my interest, I think for a very long time, and this is not one of those cliche responses where someone will say, "Oh, I just love computers." I kind of did, right? But not in a way of, oh, I want to do something with it. No, right? So just because back then in school, I mean, our computer science lab, we usually have like there's one funny game on the computer, on that computer. And I love to play that game. And I was good at it. I remember I would tell my dad that, oh, get us a computer, get me a laptop. For a very long time, I did not have a laptop. So I didn't even know, what they did with that. The only time I would interface with a computer was, I mean, the times where you remember those days, you go to a cyber cafe because you want to go access your Facebook account or you want to go and chat with
Yeah,
your friend. Exactly. You now
yeah,
buy 30 minutes or maybe 1 hour. Yeah.
yeah.
So
1 hour.
exactly. So those were like the ways I was able to like interface with the laptop. And then I got into school. And when I was in secondary school, I just knew that I wanted to study computer science. Right. I knew it was clear to me that I wanted to study. How? Don't ask me. I don't know. I just wanted to study computer science. And I think one of the reasons was that when I was in secondary school, computer science was a subject that I did not have to read to pass. Like all I had to do was just to sit down in class and listen. Once I listen, I never read that book. Like I just go in and I pass it. I just felt like, okay, see, I don't want to struggle in my life. People were saying that, oh, go and study medicine because I was like the head boy in my school. And people were like, go and study medicine. You know how they try to push head girls to go and study medicine. I was like, people cannot kill me. I don't have the energy to do it. I want a very easy life. And that was why I went to study computer science. Believe it or not, I studied computer science because I just wanted to have an easy life. So I got into UI and I started seeing people build stuff. It was amazing seeing what you can actually do with programming languages. And that was where that interest got sparked, right?
Okay, wow, that's really interesting. So at any point, were there a point where you had probably early challenges that you almost question your path? I'm like, who sent me to go and who asked me to do computer science? Or who asked
Yes.
me to career in
Yeah.
tech?
So yes, there were times like that. I remember when I was just back then in school, maybe it was imposter syndrome then, right? But I was building things that are very easy, very, very simple. Like I was building calculator, I'm writing a program to do this, write a program that will combine two streams and things like that. And you will see people doing like building things that actually matter. And at some point, I felt like, okay, wait, am I joking? Well, how is it going to happen that I'll get to the level where these guys are? Like, look at what I'm building. Like, what I'm building, nobody even wants to use it. Even me that I'm building it, I don't want to use it. Like, it's not useful to me. Yeah. So there was that part, and there was a part where I tried to like build something, and it just did not work. I'm telling you, it did not work. Like programming can be frustrating at times. Like, you are trying to write this thing, and you spend 3 days, and you see someone doing it in like 5 minutes. Okay, wait, am I sure this is what I want to do in my life? Right. So there were times like that. And honestly, if you ask me, oh, how did I overcome those times? I did not have to, I didn't have a choice because I was already there. Honestly, I was already there. I didn't have a choice. And I knew that because my dad is a businessman. He has like his own business. The business was not running smoothly then because, economy and things like that. So in my mind, I was like, worst case scenario, if this computer science does not work. And also because I know that, okay, I can play drums. Even then, I had to go for concerts,
Yeah.
right? I had a band I was playing for. So in my mind, I was like, okay, see, let me just try this computer science thing. If it does not work, I will just fall. But I had a plan B, right? And I had a plan C.
Wow.
But I didn't want to fall back on those plan B and plan C because most people that I knew in those spaces, they're not really, really doing well. Yeah. So and also because I had people that were already in the tech space, not close people for sure, like people that I just see online. Oh, this guy, oh, he's working here. Like this guy can do it. Ah, me too. Like let me just try. You get so yeah.
So I think that most people that are senior or probably they started their career and they are where they are seasoned developers or engineers and all that. I feel like this at some point in their journey, they do have imposter syndrome. I had a conversation about this imposter syndrome with somebody and he tried to create a scenario where he had to lead a team of different people from different countries and immediately he got to know about it and into their processes, how they do stuff. It was like, how I'm in Nigeria, how do I lead people from India? How do I lead people from UK and all that? So I think
Yeah.
one thing that he said that stood out for me, the part where he said that the product owner said that I believe you can do this. So I wanted to say something around surrounding yourself with the right people. I
Yes.
feel like it helps people. I also feel your intention. Why do you want to get in tech? So why are you starting a career in tech? I feel like young bees right now, they just enter tech because of the money. And it
Yes.
actually takes time, right?
Yeah.
It's not like immediately. The part where people just get into tech because everybody's getting into tech, or my friends are getting into tech, or I'm being driven by whatever. I feel like if you're not passionate about, there's a passion part and
Yes.
there's the
There is.
money part. That's your satisfaction or the result from whatever you want to do. But I feel like people tend to like look at tech like this money making machine. Let me just jump
Yeah.
in it. And at the end, they get frustrated when they don't get what they actually want. So I would say that number one, if you're watching this video, check your purpose. Why did you go to study science, or why are you starting a career in tech, or why did you start a career in tech? If I want to check that reason, because there are actually challenges in tech, and if you not stand on a solid ground, you can be shaken and just sweep away by time and season. So it's very important you check your purpose and surround yourself. Like he had people that he was looking up to. He felt like if this person could, he can as well. I think that's like one of my own anchor as well. That if I like when I want to like tell people like my mentees and all that, I used to tell them that if I as a business administrator, I studied
Yeah.
business administration at National University, education. So if I can start my journey in tech and I am here today, I might not be where I like I envisioned, but I'm grateful for where I am today. I used to tell them
Definitely.
you can as a person. There's no
You can't.
excuse for
Yeah.
you. You can. Thank you, Ibiniyi, for that. Right. So now I want to take you to your first real tech interview, your first job as a junior software developer. And I would imagine that at some point it was exciting, at some point it was frustrating. Or one of your interviews that you feel like it would encourage people or is needed to share, probably what you faced and all that. So can you share with us how you prepared for that big moment? So I would love to hear what you feel like walking into that room. What advice do you wish that you have given yourself before that interview? So what would you tell yourself while you're preparing for that interview?
Okay. Okay. This is a lot of information I to share. So let me pick it up from my first interview. So my first real interview was with Microsoft. I was still in school. I was in final level then, and Microsoft came to. I think they came to maybe either they came to Nigeria or they came to Africa to come recruit engineers or to come recruit new graduates. So I had a group of friends, and funny enough, they're still together, four of us. Out of the four of us, I was the only one that had a job, right? Because after internship, I was retained. Don't worry, it wasn't like a lot of money. I was being paid like 20K or 25,000. But yeah, I was still, because I didn't have any other alternative. When we heard about the opportunity and we applied, I just felt that out of everybody now, I'm the only one that has a job. Now only me get experience. If anyone should get this job, it should be me, right? So we went through the process and like we did the first interview, which was basically like speaking with the recruiter. And then we got to the second interview. I think I got dropped at the second stage, and I will explain why. So the second stage was an interview it was a coding test, basically, with a senior engineer at Microsoft. And this is an advice I would like to give everybody. The reason why I failed that particular stage, right, or the interview, anyways, it was because I didn't make my research in terms of what to expect for this particular interview. I did not know that the type of interviews that's being run by big tech is different from the kind of interviews that most companies run here, right? They really don't care. At that point, they didn't really care whether you can design API or you cannot. They don't care whether you can build Facebook or not. They had specific questions, and my question was very simple. I wish someone would ask me that question now, but I did not know what to expect. I didn't know how to respond, so I failed that particular level. And one of my friends actually got the job. And why did he get the job? He went online, like he did his research. What should I expect at this level? After he passed the level, then he had to go to South Africa for the last stage, which was like four interviews back to back. And he bought a book, sat down, read the book, right? Practice and practice. So I think one thing that's very important, like for everyone is that, see, when it comes to interviews, always know what to expect.
Hmm.
Let's say, okay, a recruiter reached out to you and they tell you that you have an interview. See, the best thing you can do for yourself is Number one, research. Number two, ask the recruiter. See, some people feel like if they ask the recruiter that, oh, what should I expect for this next interview? You feel like maybe I don't know, people feel maybe they are showing their cards, or they feel like, oh, it would give them, like, to hand them a negative point. No, it won't, right? Instead, it's even good that you are asking for what you expect. So always ask for, if not, or more, you might be answering the question. I mean, you might be giving the answer to the wrong question. You might be prepared the wrong way for an interview, and honestly, you might have passed that interview if you had just done a little research. So that's just that for that. So I didn't get that job, and then I resigned from Cloudware after I graduated from school. And when I resigned, I did not have any other job. I did not. I only resigned because it was getting boring for me. And honestly, I would not advise any other person to take this step. I'm not saying this so that you can go and resign at your job because, oh, you failed to graduate. Nigeria is difficult now. And I was in my parents' house then. So I could afford to make that decision. I dare not
Sure.
try that now. So yeah, so I made that decision, and honestly, I thought I would be able to get a better job, like, in a little time. I turned out
Yeah.
like I miscalculated. So I was at home for 5 months or 6 months. Here's another lesson. When I was at home, there was no job. I was building. I was learning. That my
Building.
previous job, I was writing HTML, CSS, PHP. I was writing vanilla PHP. For those that know PHP, vanilla code, no framework. But when I was at home, I learned React. I learned Laravel, and I built things with Laravel and React. And then one of my friends just reached out to me that, oh, he was working at a company called Find a Pro in Ibadan. And then he got a job at Kudi, which is now Number, right? We got a job, and they asked him to refer someone to replace him. So he reached out to me and told me that, oh, he's leaving and they would like to interview me. And funny enough, the job was for Laravel and React. I did not know that I would be getting interviewed for that job. I just was learning. So I think the lesson there is that, say, while things might not go the way you want, don't just sit around and wait for opportunities to
Yeah.
come, right? I always tell people that, okay, while you are waiting for that big job, if there's a big job that you feel like, exactly, if there's a big job that you feel like you are qualified for right now, and it has not come, keep getting better until that job shows.
Yeah.
Because the level that
Build.
you might need to be, right, for that job to come, right, might be higher than the level you are right now. And if you never improve, that job will never come. So, yeah, so that was how I got my actual job. Like, the interview was straightforward. I just entered the company, and they asked me a bunch of questions. How do you do this? How do you do that? And I answered, and it was a full stack role. So I did that for just 3 months. Just 3 months, and then the company packed up. No investment. Yes, I remember I just woke up one day and I got an email, and I was just jobless again. And as at that time, I was preparing to go serve, and then I was planning to serve in Ibadan if I was at that company, but it did not happen. I started looking for another job. By the time my service peaked, I still didn't have a job. So I went online. If you check my LinkedIn, I'll try to look for it. If you check my LinkedIn, my Twitter, you still see my post. I posted that I'm looking for a job. These are the things I've built. I shared my resume. I shared my GitHub that I've done this, I've done it. And then I remembered my PM at Find the Pro, right? Funny enough, and this will shock you. You know the person, Ayotunde. Ayotunde, as was my PM at Find the Pro, yes. And then Ayotunde left Find the Pro for GA, for Global Accelerates. Ayotunde had, like, he helped me apply to Global Accelerates, and I did not get, like, I didn't get any response. We applied to HR, we didn't get any response twice. So and then on Twitter, Boye messaged me, right? Boye messaged me, and I knew Boye from school. Boye messaged me that, oh, I should apply to Global Accelerates. I was like, no, I've applied to Global Accelerates. You guys don't want me. Like, you guys, like, you don't want me. Then Boye asked me to share my resume, and then Boye shared my resume to Larry. And then Larry called me. We had a mini interview, and then he asked me to come to Lagos. So then I went to Lagos for a proper interview, which was actually very nice. I think I stayed almost like the whole day at Global Accelerates that day, and the interview went well. And then that was how I got an offer. Yeah, you remember?
I remember there's one guy like that was said at the general office.
Yes, exactly. That was where I sat down.
DCJ.
Yeah, that was why I sat down. I was doing my test. So that was how I got Global Accelerates. The first level was of my PPA. And then after Global Accelerates, after NYC, I still stayed back at Global Accelerates. Let me mention something that happened.
Okay.
So before Global Accelerates sent an offer, right? They didn't send an offer like on time. The reason why I thought that because I applied. I didn't apply as a copper. I applied as
Mm-hmm.
a like as an engineer. Global Accelerates
Okay.
gave me an offer as a copper, and that was not the plan, right? So before, while I was waiting for Larry to like speak to HR and get me an offer, someone else reached out to me. A company, a CEO reached out to me, very small company actually, and offered me a job. So we had a call and he offered me a job. He offered me about how much? Like 150,000. Yeah, like 170K. Then and then Global Terrorists came and then I declined the guy's offer for Global Accelerate. Now, I want to make it clear that the reason why I declined that offer, right, was because even though the money was going to be more than what Global Accelerate, what I was expecting from Global Accelerate, I was expecting at least 150 from Global Accelerate. Global Accelerate at that time was, I mean, still is a company that is established, has standards, has a lot of senior engineers. Like there were people that I could learn from, right? This is a company that I
Mm-hmm.
could learn what standard means. I could learn good practice. And that was why I chose Global
Yeah.
Accelerate over the other company. It's important that at every point in time in your career, you know what you want, you know what you are looking for. At that time, what I was looking for was structure. I was looking for structure. Global Celerex had structure then, right? And even after I joined Global Celerex and I realized that I was not going to be earning 150, I was earning 40,000 naira at Global Celerex because I was a copper. And I
Wow.
was upset. I remember I was upset. I told Larry that I'm going to reject this thing, that I got like I was earning 100,000 naira in Ibadan. Why would I come to Lagos and be earning 40K? Like, how does that even make sense? But I thought about it again. I saw the growth, the potential for
What you
growth at Global Accelerate. Yeah, I
okay.
saw people that were very good engineers at Global Accelerate. I mean, I didn't have anything to lose. I was living with my auntie. It's not as if I'm paying rent. So, and my auntie's house was close to the office, and IK was living in my auntie's estate. So IK was bringing me from home to the office, and was taking me back. So I basically had everything I wanted, and that was why I was like, let me just stay at Global Accelerate. And I'm grateful for it. So I learned a lot at Global Sellers. So let me just stop there.
Thank you for me sharing this. Okay, funny enough, I don't know if I have that on my phone. So there's a designer. She posted something about, sorry, please let me check if I still have it on my phone. I'm not sure I do anymore. But it was about, okay, she did like a poll that asked me a question. There's somebody asked that, how do I get a job as a newbie? I just finished like learning or probably, I think bootcamp. How do I get a job that will pay me $1,000
Now, still now.
or so? And I'm like, the girl said, you know what, buy a Mac, put it under your pillow as like you will get like these people, it's it's a process for everybody that you see that has made it in tech or is
Yeah.
earning like well. Actually, if you hear their story, you want to hear the story. They just want to see, this person is a serious. I'm not
Then,
saying that you
yeah.
cannot look up to somebody that, Ibini is earning so much. I want to be like Ibini. But can you look at his process, where he
Process.
started from? I think the truth is that it's now different, right? I
Yeah.
feel like what and then right now, because of the economy and all that, it might
Yeah.
increase. But you know that
Yes.
that's still expensive. But I just want to say that to newbies, especially, please calm down.
Down. Calm down.
Calm down. I don't know where you are getting the pressure. Some people were lucky enough to their first job, maybe they got it at
Yes.
Flutter or
Yes.
or whatever company or maybe Global Affairs, they started straight up, right? They didn't need to have to do internship and all that. But the truth is that it's a process. And life is a process. You need to follow step by step. So thank you so much once again, Ibini, for sharing your journey with us. So I'm going to go to the next question. Is about interviews. So I know that interviews can be intimidating, and let's be honest, stress can be like a huge factor. Maybe you're stressed, or probably it's an high pressure situation. For me, I've had to do interview, and I just lose my comportment. Like when I'm in comportment, there's this tension that comes when I like when maybe I'm chatting with my friends, but when in our interview, there's this tension, right? So for you, how do you like personally stayed grounded, like or calm during interview? You're not nervous, or you're not, or probably you're nervous, but you moved. You know that this thing now last start they'll tell me that, and they don't work with me and all that. Do you have like tips for aspiring techies, or even not just aspiring techies, people that are already in tech world are trying to, maybe they have their dream job, but they're just trying to get an interview, or they want to interview with a company and they're struggling with being nervous and all that. Do you have tips to manage you being nervous? Probably maybe you can share like few things that has helped you stay focused on that pressure.
Okay. All right. So I agree with you on the whole pressure thing. And let me quickly share this. At times, it might not really be anything that has to do with you losing something. Like if there's a lot at stake, you'll most probably be nervous. If there's a lot at stake, then you'll probably be nervous. So remember after that first Microsoft interview, I had another one. I applied again, right, the following year. I'm very persistent. I applied again, and this time the process was different. So instead of interviewing with a senior engineer, they sent me an assessment link. And then this time I was a better engineer. Like I knew the process and I understood how to solve these problems, right? But that day I was just so nervous. They gave me 3 questions. I couldn't solve any of them, right? It was for the nervous, serious. I was looking at the question like this. I was like, okay, I know I can solve this thing, but my head is not just in the right place at the moment. And I thought I couldn't solve it because I did not solve it that day. And I remember that the following day, maybe the following or 2 days after, I went back because I did that at the office. Nobody was at our office, but I just went to the office that time. I was still at Fanny Pro. I just opened the door and just went to go and sit there because we have we had whiteboard. So I love using whiteboard to like show my workings and things like that. Just went into I went to the office on Monday very early, and like that's why I was upset. I just went to the office and all the questions that I couldn't solve 2 days ago, right, without reviewing them again, I solved every single one of them. And that day I was like, God, like, are they following me? Like, so it's now that I know that okay, it was because I was nervous and I didn't have a clear head, right? That was why. So I think at times you understand the fact that being nervous does not it's not active is you can really avoid it, right? But you need to actually like get past it, right? See, when it comes to interviews, in fact, it's better when it's an interview where there's you are speaking to somebody, right? I made a video about interviews and I mentioned that see, interviews is take it from someone that has been interviewed and someone that has interviewed multiple people, right? Interview is just a discussion, honestly. It is nothing more than a discussion. It is just a discussion. The discussion between me that I'm being interviewed and the other person that is interviewing me, right? In fact, I dare to say that we are interviewing each other, right? There are situations where I have turned down a job just because I saw some things maybe during the interview. I don't like this. I don't like this. I mean, obviously, I'm now at the point where I can turn down certain jobs. It's basically a conversation, and what you're trying to figure out is, are you fit for the role? I've taken it that see, if I don't get this job, right, it's either I need to work, I need to get better. That is honestly, this is how I overcame my the fear of being interviewed. I just got myself into this headspace of see, if I don't pass an interview, it is either because that interview reveals what I need to work on, right? It's either okay, if I don't pass an interview, it reveals that okay, maybe there's something that I'm lacking, which is good for me because now I know that okay, this particular like space or this particular tool or this particular concept, I don't know it or I don't know it enough. Now I need to go and learn to know this thing, right? It's either that or I'm not like what they are looking for at the moment. See, it's not deep. It's not that deep. See, you get. I understand that when I'm interviewing with big companies, Microsoft, we're like, see, this is another thing. When you're interviewing with maybe big companies, there's this thing that happens to everybody. You start envisioning yourself, you start imagining yourself already at Microsoft. And you start thinking of, okay, I go to Microsoft now, travel to US. I'll go to that my friend, I'll go and see that my friend that is in Canada. See, don't do that. Please don't 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 imagine anything until you're done with that interview, because imagining it will how do I put it will let you feel that I'm going to die if this thing does not work. For me now, every interview I do, right, I just do it, not that I do it passively, right, I put my best into it, but somewhere at the back of my mind I feel like, okay, see, this thing might not just work, so I don't put myself under pressure where if I lose this thing I will no, it's not that deep, right? Not that deep. So if you don't pass an interview, see it as a teaching moment, right? And that's why for me, I interview a lot, right? I have a video that talks about how often should you interview. And personally, I
Okay.
believe we should interview every single time. Like, I will hardly pass on an interview. If you see me interviewing, trust me, it's not because I'm looking for a job. It is not. Right? There are certain interviews that it's not because I'm looking for a
Mm-hmm.
job. It's just because I also see interviews as a way to see, like, to see where I stand. Like, to just see, okay, where do I stand in this job market? See,
Yeah.
now I know that if, God forbid, I lose my job now, I can't spend 2 months without a job. It's not possible. Like, and it has happened before. I can tell you. Sometime last year, or maybe last 2 years before my wedding, I was jobless. Right? And I was jobless for just 1 month before I got two jobs. Right? I mean, two job offers. Yes. And it is because, see, I have interviewed up to a level where, see, I know certain people to reach out to. There are people that have reached out to me that, oh, come and interview. I interview, I'll be like, okay, I'm not interested in moving. And then they will tell you that, oh, and I'll tell you that, okay, like whenever I'm free, or whenever I have like, I have like some bandwidth, I'll reach out to you. I have at least 3 people I can reach out to today, like, oh, I need a job, and I'll get a job. It's because I have interviewed, and that interviewing actually builds confidence. And that's another thing. One other way to overcome this nervousness, or this nerve that comes with doing interview, is interview more. Don't be scared to interview. The more you interview, the more comfortable you get with it. Like, I've done
Yeah.
so many interviews that even if I want to interview with Microsoft tomorrow, I will just go there. Whatever that will happen will happen. I cannot die. It's because I've done so many interviews. So interview more, right? Interviewing more has increased my confidence level. There's hardly any company I can interview with right now, like at least within Africa. If it's not even big tech, that I will fail the interview. Why? Not because I'm the best engineer. No, to a good extent, I've been able to actually crack that interview thing. Like, I know the kind of questions they want to ask. I know the kind of answer they want to hear. If
Mm-hmm.
if you're interviewing me as a mid-level engineer, I will check the job descriptions. And that's another thing, right? When you're interviewing, check the job requirements. Never enter an interview without knowing what is required for that role they're interviewing for, right? Because I prepare for an interview based on what they are looking for. That's why, like, even at times, after senior now, after senior, in some companies there is tech lead. Tech lead is not really it's not really like a promotion. After senior, then you see maybe staff engineer. I've done some interviews that are for staff engineers, but I'm playing not a staff engineer material at the moment, because I mean, staff engineers must have like maybe 7, maybe 10 years of experience, right? But I do that so that I can know what I need to work on. So you
Yeah.
get, so just to simply put, right, interview more. The more you interview, the easier it gets. The easier it gets on you, right? Don't interview only when you're looking for a job. Simply put, don't interview only. Interview every single time. Interview every single time. The reason why someone will reach out to me and say that I want to hire an engineer, and I will bill you, and I'll tell you that give me 4 million naira per month. The only reason why I will do that is because I've seen my worth. And I cannot see my worth without interviewing, because I've done certain interviews that they've offered me that kind of money. So when someone is asking me that, oh, how much should we pay? I can easily tell you that at least this is how much I can collect. But you would know until you find out. So people
Yeah.
they are scared of failing interviews. Yes, people are scared of failing interviews. Don't be, right. You never get to that point where you pass most interviews if you don't fail a lot. Because the more you fail, and again, you have to see interviews as, oh, if you fail this interview, there's something I need to learn. Let me tell you a story of a friend. One of my friends that was staying together in Lagos, he interviewed at a company and they asked him certain questions and he did not know them. We have this habit in our house then, because we're all boys, we're all engineers, except one of our friends that is a designer. That was marvelous. Whenever
Mm-hmm.
anybody does an interview, all of us will have a round table and see that, okay, what was the question they asked you? Oh, okay, so how did you
Mm-hmm.
answer it? So we had that round table, and he told us a question. He was like, at least he had less experience than like the rest of us. So sitting down, I explained the question to him. Okay, this is the answer you give next time. Lo and behold, I'm telling you, the next interview he had, he asked him the same question and he got the job. See, I've seen people, if you do 2 interviews and they ask you a certain question in those 2 interviews and you fail the questions twice, you need prayers. Once I do an interview and I fail a question, see, I've lost an offer before. As well, there was one company I was interviewing with, maybe Pipe Drive. The offer came
Mm-hmm.
with, like, it was supposed to come with relocation, like, it was like for maybe $80,000 or $90,000. I was so happy that almost like I'm going to get this job. And trust me, just one concept that I did not know. in JavaScript. Concept, I did not know how a particular function, the internal workings of that function, I did not know. And that was how I endorsed it. I'm telling you, if you ask me that question tomorrow, I would demolish it. Why? Because I was so upset that, are you kidding me? Like, as senior as I am, this tiny thing is one that is, you get. So when you interview, right, interview the mindset of, if you fail, right, learn from it. What could I have done better? Do a retrospective, and that is how you grow.
Wow. Thank you for sharing those tips. I think I want to lay emphasis on the part where you mentioned that the more you interview, the more nervousness disappear, everything, just to paraphrase. So I know that a senior friend, he has mentioned that I think a few years ago when we were having conversation, and it was like, it's not like he wants the job, but you just want to know how he's doing in the market. Like he wants to know
Definitely.
what's his level in the market. So it's already in
Yeah.
a very high position. But he wants to know, am I in the market? Am I still in the market? So you might want to also
Yeah.
do that. Also, I feel like you might want to talk around maybe CV and all that. Because
Yeah.
sometimes the truth is that people apply. That's it.
Mm.
Many people apply, but they don't get any feedback or they don't get any insight. Maybe because after applying, the next thing is for them to call you for an interview. So some people don't even pass after they check the CV and all their portfolio, they don't pass that stage. So based on this, I want to ask that how can people make sure like they actually have that interview that they are looking
You
forward
get to
to,
that point. Yeah.
those things that they need to do. Now, the second question will now be around, because I know that you are very passionate about mentorship, right? So what role do you think that mentors play in shaping not just technical skill, but also the mindsets needed in interview? Because some people, they have an interview to do, and because of this mentality, the African mentality, I think the proverbs around you covering your yam before it gets done, that before he
Yeah, I get
do you
you.
get they don't get to tell people that not like you should go and announce but I feel like what's like the rule of mentorship in making sure that you do well at your interviews. I hope you got that.
Okay. All right. So in terms of like how can people get to that interview door, that door of
Mm-hmm.
interview. So I think that one thing that I mean, maybe I didn't spell it out, but should have been picked up from what I'm saying is that um be intentional about growth.
Mm-hmm.
Growth over any other thing for me. Growth over any other thing. When I'm reviewing someone's CV, trust me, what I'm looking for is growth. What I'm looking for is growth. When I'm looking at someone's, oh, he worked here, and he worked here, and he worked here. I'm looking for a pattern of growth. So it's important that when I'm looking at your CV, when you yourself look at your CV, you can see a pattern of growth, right, in that CV. And that pattern of growth might not necessarily mean that, oh, you've worked at different places. No, not necessarily, because we don't all have the same leverage. You might not
Yeah.
get the kind of jobs I get and things like that. But to a very good extent, you don't need a job to show your growth. You don't, right? And I always tell people that if you want me to hire you, I need to have an idea of what you're capable of doing, right? And the only way I will know what you're capable of doing is by seeing what you've done in the past. So even without you might not have a solid job, because I believe some people have a job that pays them 50,000 naira, and like these guys are like still engineers. They are not just there yet. And I have this friend that job, he spends all his time on the job. Meanwhile, the technology they use at the job is not a technology you can use to get a better job. So you have to be strategic about your growth. At that point in time, what you need to do is you have to split your time. Some time will be used for doing your job, and the rest of your time has to be used on like growing, right? Grow yourself, invest yourself for where you are going, right? Spend time building projects for developers. Spend time um, reading people's code. Spend time reading other people's work, because when recruiters or when engineering managers check your resume, what they want to look out for is the pattern of growth, right? Speaking from my perspective, that's number one. Number two is that whatever, and this is a hack, right? If you're someone that is looking maybe for your first few jobs, right? Maybe first job or second job, whatever role you are applying for, ensure that you are more qualified than that role. And that is because of the way the tech space is at the moment. See, the tech space, gone are the days that you are in school and then you want to go for internship, and then you're just coming with you and your heart and God, nothing to offer, and you're looking for an internship where you would learn and things like that. Nothing of such like exist anymore in the tech space. Like when you're coming for an internship, trust me, you must be coming with skills, come with knowledge, right? So basically, you must be one step ahead of whatever role or whatever level you're applying for. See, if you're applying for a junior level, trust me, you must have stepped out of junior level into like mid-level to a good extent before you can get a junior level job at the moment. The people that are applying for internships are junior engineers. The people that are applying for junior level roles are mid-level guys. The people that are applying for mid-level roles are senior guys. I've seen senior people, like people, I've seen people that are mid-level engineers now, and these guys are like before. These are people that to a good extent, it should be a senior in certain companies. So try as much as possible because you might see yourself and see. Don't deceive yourself. That's one thing. Don't just deceive yourself. Some people count when we say, oh, this person must have 3 years of experience. So people start counting from their internship. Yeah, just stressing yourself. Don't start counting your years of experience from your internship. No. When I tell you that I have 5 years of experience, right, I can actually claim 7 years of experience right now. But I don't. You know why? Because I don't set unrealistic expectations for myself. So I'll tell you that I have 5. When I had 4 years of experience, I was claiming 3 years of experience. So when I go for interview, in my resume, you see 3 years of experience. And then when I show you what I know, you're like, okay, wait, how does someone that has just been in the tech space for 3 years know all these things? You get. So it gives you a hedge. And that was one of the things that my managers love about me. I'm just usually a step ahead. I don't apply for a job and then I get there, I'm struggling. No. It's not the best way. So make sure that you are like one step ahead, right, of the role, right? It will be easy for you to get, it's easy for you to get the job. Don't lie on your resume. Say that one. Don't lie on your resume, right? Don't lie on your
Very
resume.
important. Don't lie.
Don't lie. Yeah. So there's this thing that people do, especially for developers. I don't know about for designers. So you learn one language one day, go and check the documentation of that language, and you go and now put in your resume that
Oh my
which are written Java,
please,
Angular.
oh Lord.
So we've done these things. It does not work anymore, honestly, because even right now, companies are not looking for people that know multiple languages, honestly. The reason why I would take a look at your resume is not because you know React, Angular. In fact, I'll be concerned, right? If you know this many languages in a short time, that means you've not really learned these things in depth. If you are claiming to know 5 languages, if you are claiming to know 5 languages and you've not spent 5 years, 6 years in the tech space, 2 years, you know 5 languages, Benny, I cannot work with that person. I can't, right? Because I'm very sure this person, young people that have spent 2 years learning the language, they've not mastered it. You want you have spent you want to spend 2 years to learn 5 languages. It doesn't work that way. So don't lie on your resume. There's one thing I was going to mention. Don't lie on your resume. Then, in terms of mentorship, right? See, everyone needs a mentor. There's nothing you can tell me. See, if there's anybody that is saying that I've been able to navigate, yeah, you are wasting time. See, I always say that, and I have a video about mentorship, and the way I define mentorship is that see, a mentor is someone um that is a professional, that is very experienced, right? That has been to where you want to go, like where you want to get to. That person has been there, right?
Yeah.
And is willing to not just show you the way, right, but hold your hands to the place. That is what a mentor is. And what the advantage of that, right, is that what your mentor was able to achieve in 10 years, you can achieve it in half the time. You can achieve it.
Right.
And that's why you see people like me. I've not really spent so much time in the tech space. But if you look at the things I've been able to gather for myself, in the past, you would need like at least maybe 10 years to be able to like get to the level where I am now. But because I leverage on the experiences of people that have gone ahead, like there are certain things that I don't have to learn anymore. Like I don't learn these things because either I will watch videos of somebody or I speak with somebody. I sit down, I just discuss with somebody like, oh, like tell me about this, tell me about that. I pick people's brain. There are things I don't learn anymore. Like I don't even have to read a book. I've learned it from somebody. So it's important that you have mentors, right? Or a mentor or like a set of people that whenever things get difficult, because I've had to make some difficult decisions in my career. And honestly, I couldn't bring myself to make those decisions. So I had to reach out to people and say, okay, I'm in this situation. What do you think I should do? Right? I mean, obviously, right now I don't need a mentor for coding, but I need a mentor for where I want to get to. Right? If someone reaches out to me and say, "Oh, Ibini, we are building this product. Come and be our CTO." I can't make that decision by myself at the moment. Right? I don't have that kind of experience. I have to reach out to somebody that I've met in my career that is either a CTO, a CEO, an engineering manager, right? And tell them that, oh, this is where I am, right? And this is offer I got. What do you think I should do? So you get, I've had to decline an offer that was supposed to pay me more than what I'm earning right now. But I had to decline it because I reached out to one of my mentors and he gave me good reason to decline it. So it's important that you have like mentors, right? You'll be able to learn things half the time. In half the time you're supposed to be learning it, right? And your mentor will help you with difficult decisions, right? And your mentor doesn't really have to be. So when I was in school, my mentors were the were some guys that were in the same class. These guys are light years ahead of whatever I wanted to do. Till now, like one of them is working at 1045 at the moment. One of them is in Kenya, right? Till now, these guys are like the actual blazers, like in the tech space. And these are people that like I used to look up to. Any small thing, I carry their laptop, I'm checking their code. Why are you doing this? That is how I have grown. A lot of my growth, right, did not really come from me opening book. Like, yes, I read books. I read books a lot. Most of the growth did not really come from watching tutorials. I learned from people. When I was at Paystack, I switched teams when I was at Paystack. Why? Because I saw potential for growth in the other team. There was just one backend engineer on that other team. And that backend engineer was a principal engineer. And when I saw like, okay, working with this person, I will learn a lot. That was why I switched. I moved from my team to that team. So it was just me and that guy, and I learned a lot. Yeah, one other thing about resumes is that, see, please, and these things frustrate me at times. When someone shares their resume with me and I'm seeing 5 pages, why? Someone like Larry had like 13 years of experience. Maybe now we will be having like maybe 18. Larry's resume is not 5 pages. Someone with 18 years of experience, his resume is not 5 pages. You that you've been in the tech space for 2 years, how did we get to 5 pages? How?
How did we get here?
How did we get there? So I don't have the time. See, the fact that I've seen 5 pages, you now space everything now. I'll be saying spaces. No, I don't have that time, right? So ensure. See, I believe that as long as your years of experience is still less than maybe 8, I don't think you should be getting more than 1 page. One is okay. I can do 2 pages, but I'm not. How many? Where have I worked that I want to be putting? I don't have that much stuff. I think people need to know that there are things that are not relevant on your resume. Not everything has to be there. If you are applying for a backend engineer role, don't put your experience as a teacher on the resume you want to submit. It does not help anybody. So I like to think that there's a difference between resume and CV. Your CV like encompasses everything you've done in your professional career, right? It puts everything. Oh, you've taught here, you've been a mentor here, but your resume has to be perfectly tailored to the particular role you are applying for. So even
Yeah,
if I'm a backend engineer, right? If I'm applying for a full stack developer role, I have to put the experience I have that is relevant to being a full stack. So you get, if you're okay, if you're a designer, for instance, and let's say on the side you do fashion design, right? Imagine you want to apply for design role. You now put that you are doing fashion design. Did they put in
no,
the
no.
job descriptions that, oh, we are looking for a product design and experience as a fashion designer is a you get, it was not there. It was not there. So you have to prioritize what you choose to be on your resume there.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much, Ibini. I've been able to learn many things from what you've said. I've gotten some tips that I myself work on. And I hope that everybody watching, whether you're an aspiring techie or you already in the field and you're looking at to transition to another company or to another role or whatever, please, I want you to take all these tips, use them, and I know that they are going to work for you. I trust that will work for you. So thank you so much, Ibini. It's been a really a long and interesting ride, right, with you, starting from the beginning, our conversation to this very point. I am sure that this will bless people wherever they are, regardless of their nationality and all that, or their level in tech. So thank you so much. So two things before you go. I just want to be like a final word. I don't say last word, but final word on this show. Tech is basically just a final word. If anything, it's very something succinct, short. Also, if people are to want to connect with you, where can they connect with you? So thank you.
Okay. So I think for the first one, I would say that it is important that everyone has a value system, right? It is important that everyone has a value system, and that value system would actually set the foundation for what you prioritize and what you don't. And I will also add that when someone does not know what they want, then they leave it to external factors to decide what they do or what they want, right? And in terms of like how to reach out to me, I'm on LinkedIn, I'm not on Twitter. I'm on Twitter, but I can't remember the last time I opened that app. Mostly on LinkedIn.
Okay. Your YouTube as well, because you have to learn from Ibini's YouTube.
Yes, YouTube is IBCodes. On IG too, IBCodes is pretty much IBCodes all around. Yeah, that's
Thank you, Ibini, again for showing up. Thank you so much. It's an honor really having you on this call. To our viewers, share this video with somebody in your circle will really need this video.
yes, yeah,
All tips that Ibini has shared are very, very useful for you to actually get it from where you started to now. So I'm really happy that you shared those processes, so people will not just like, this guy is a big boy and all that, but you're able to share and be real with us. So
yeah,
thank you so much. I really had a great time during our conversation. So thank you very much
yeah.
for watching. Don't
Welcome.
forget to subscribe. Bye, everybody.